today I'm going to be talking about clay on My Little Ponies. Now, in my previous episodes, I have talked about how to prep your pony, how to paint your pony, and a lot of people have been asking me how you do the clay and what brands do you use. So I'm going to be talking about that today. I was going to do an how to make an eye episode, but I think that the clay comes before that, so I'm just going to make this episode, then the eye one. So don't get all panicked. I will return with that video soon. But today let's just focus on the clay. And here I have all my ponies that I've made with clay so far. I have some that I'm going to show you that I haven't finished, and I have made one for someone who bought one on my Etsy, and it turned out really nicely. And so I'm just going to jump right into the video. First, I'm going to be talking about good brands to use and which ones to stay away from. So I would mostly stay away from the cheap products like this brand, for instance. I bought this at Walmart, and you can basically find it anywhere, but do not buy this clay for your ponies. I mean, if you already have it and it's working well for you, that's great. It's just everything I've tried making with it, it has immediately fall apart or cracked, and that is not what I want to find for my project. I don't want anything to crack. Plus, this container is extremely weird and it dries up really easily. All of this is extremely hard and I haven't finished using it. Like, it's unusable now. It's all dry, and what's the point of what's the point of buying this huge container if you're not going to use it all in time for it to still be moist? I should probably throw this out. Good thing I didn't, so I could show you guys. There was another really bad brand that I bought at Joann's. It was more of a softer kind of clay, and I didn't like it because it didn't stick to the plastic. So I would aim for the brands that you can find online on Amazon or professional art stores, because those brands are usually really nice. Like a brand that I've been using forever, and it hasn't dried up still. I leave it in the fridge so that way it stays well and it doesn't crack. It stays together. It's extremely good. It's epoxy. This is the both A and B mixtures that you have to mix together in order for it to dry hard. So this one is the clay and this one is the glue. And yeah, you basically, in order to activate it, you have to mix part A and B together. But I got this on, I don't really remember which website I got it on, but I'm sure you could find it online, but it's more on the expensive side, but it works extremely well. As you can see, it says permanent, self-hardening, and waterproof, and it does not lie when it says that. The other brands that, like the cheap one I showed you, say it stays hard, dries hard, but it doesn't mention that it cracks and falls apart super easily. This stuff does not break, I'm telling you. I made this garnet pony with this clay, and that other pony that I made for that one person that bought it from me on Etsy. On my Etsy customs, I always use this brand because it lasts really long, and you see this thin piece? It hasn't broken off. I'm trying to break it now and it's not breaking, but it's super, super sturdy. The only downside is that you have to use water on your hands at all times in order for it to be smooth and workable, and sometimes it's hard to wash off of things because it's so permanent. So that's the only downside, but other than that, it's amazing. And by the way, I also have this amethyst pony that I'm working on. I use the epoxy clay for it, and I'm not finished with her obviously, but it is super sturdy. And if you guys are wondering, on all of my customs that I've had to use clay on in my older videos on when I make OCs for people, I have always used epoxy, like for the Art Swirl custom, for the Blue Star custom, for attaching the horn onto the blue unicorn one with the pink hair. I've used epoxy and it's just amazing. Now what I was going to say is my next brand that I use just for ponies that I have at home. I don't like to sell ponies with this clay because it is less sturdy, but it is a cheaper option and it works well. It goes on super smooth and it's easier to work with. And it is this Sculpey Oven-Baked clay. You guys are freaking out because I have to cook my ponies, and no, it does not damage them, it does not melt them, and it doesn't harm them at all. And the reason for it is because I usually put the oven on at a lower temperature than it requires, and when the pony starts to get a little bit floppy, like the plastic is really hot and it's really flimsy, I usually take the pony out of the oven to cool, and then I put it back in and it cooks amazingly. Here are some ponies that I've used it for. I used it for Jet, this pony. See how nice it is. It works really well. You can work with it easily. I used it for Sombra. It was really easy to make like these accessories. And I used it of course for Marie because I had a tutorial on her. You can go check it out. And it is amazing. Here are some more ponies that I have not finished yet, but I have my Callie pony that you guys are probably like, where's a tutorial for her? Well, I'm gonna have that up soon, but here is she, and it's super amazing on how well this clay works. I also have this food pony. Well, it's not a food pony yet, but it will be. She's of course an alicorn, but I sculpted her hair and it works really nicely. There are a few downsides to this clay. Number one is that it's very, very fragile. And the reason why I say that is because I have dropped my ponies before, and either one part, like their tail might come off, or a little tiny piece on them might come off. Like Sombra's horn has broken 3 times. I had to glue it in 3 places, and I am just very cautious about everything because it falls off super easily. You have to have really good super glue for the tails. Unless you connect the tails to the bodies, like I do with the epoxy, where they're kind of attached to their back of the leg, and that makes it so it doesn't fall off. Or you can stick a wire through the tail and stick it through the body, the hole where the tail is supposed to go. You stick it through there. That helps a lot. And if you find that the clay is a little bit unsmooth after you bake it, right when you take it out of the oven, rub acetone on it and it smooths out the fingerprints and the extra bumps that there might be on the pony, and it works amazingly. But other than that, it is really nice, other than the fact that I have to put super glue like in every little crack that I see. Like on this one, her tail broke 3 times, It was super fragile. I had to put glue in here and here, back here, where the head connects to the hair, right there. This part broke off. I had to put glue inside of there. I just like putting glue everywhere because it is going to break if you don't do that. So yes, that is my talk about clay for My Little Ponies. If you're wondering what oven temperature I use for the Sculpey Clay, I usually put it at 250, and the required temperature for it is 270. So yeah, and sometimes I mostly put them in my toaster oven, but other than that, I put this big one in the big oven because she couldn't fit, but the toaster oven works great. And that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. And the next episode will be on the eyes, on how to paint these eyes and these eyes and those eyes and those eyes. All of the eyes. So yes, stay tuned for that. Be sure to check out my custom Marie from Splatoon tutorial that is on my channel if you want to go check it out. I will have the Cali one up soon. So yes, stay tuned, and I will see you later. Be sure to check out my Etsy shop if you want to buy a custom. I have a listing for clay hair, so be sure to check that out. Thanks for watching, and toodles!